Alright, so we're about to go into the back shop, but first we're going to be taking the bandsaw safety test. So we have to remember to follow all safety rules at all times. That includes using material that we used before in our regular safety test and our miscellaneous test. We're in the back shop. We need to be ABCs, always being careful, alright? So that includes my safety glasses. Alright, gonna have these on. And these are optional, but it does get kind of noisy back there, so we do have added ear protection, all right? So you can wear them, like so, or if you're not wearing them, have them around your neck. Do not put them on a table. Students should make sure that sleeves are pulled up, shirt is tucked in, and coat or jacket is taken off. And anybody with long hair ties it back.
Now, when you get ready to go to the back to use the bandsaw, you need to make sure you've marked and measured your material twice so that all you have to do is cut once. Now, you're going to double check your measurements with your ruler and your square. There also may be times where you have a project that you have patterns that the teacher has. If that's the case, they'll let you know, but you'll use those patterns to double check your measurements to make sure you have everything marked in the correct spot, and also if you have things that need labeled marked in the same spot. So once again, before you go back, you're going to make sure that you mark and measure your materials twice, so that all you have to do is cut once. Now, when you come back to the bandsaw, remember that students should not make any adjustments to the saw guides, which are right here. Now you can turn the light, but usually they're put in the right spot, which should be pointed kind of right down towards this little wheel. But once again, students should not make any adjustments to the saw guide, which is right here. Now, if you go to put your material and you notice that it looks strange or not to be working correctly or wrong, once again, you would let your teacher know immediately. Now, another example for the guides that we do not adjust is sometimes there will be a fence as well. You'll notice it's going to be a bright orange color usually. That means danger. We don't put our hands inside there. You'll also notice that many of ours have been marked do not move because those are in place, just like the guides, so that when we go to cut, it keeps your fingers safe, and it also makes sure that you have the proper distance, making sure your measurements are correct. But once again, we don't adjust the guides or the fences. So if you go to put your piece on a fence and you've already checked your measurements and the measurements look off compared to the fence, make sure you let your instructor know. Now, as you're back here, one of the first things you need to make sure you do is you need to make sure that all dust collection is on and that blast gates are open. So once again, I need to make sure that the dust collection is on, which for the bandsaws in both rooms, it's going to be a wall rockler. The on-off switch is right here above this handle. You simply lift up to turn it on, push down to turn it off. Off to the side, you're going to have two blast gates. One goes to the lower vacuum that we use for cleaning up the tables and tools. The upper one goes to the bandsaws. So we need to make sure that the top blast gate is open, the bottom one is closed. At the bandsaw, we need to make sure that the correct blast gate is open as well. I have the bandsaw blast gate open, and I have the main dust collector blast gate open. And I would go ahead and turn the vacuum on. Now, the dust collection system is on and the blast gates are open. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get ready to cut. You want to make sure that your material is not touching the blade. You can put it up next to it, but once again, I want to make sure my material is not touching the blade before I turn on the bandsaw because it will break. Now, when I go to cut, I'm going to use the four-corner hold while operating the bandsaw. There may be times that I can also use the pinch method as well. So once again, I'm going to use the four-corner hold or the pinch method. There's also going to be times where I can use just one hand and put my other hand over here, especially when I'm cutting some smaller pieces in 8th grade. Now, while the bandsaw is powered on, give full attention to your work. A distraction such as talking is a big no-no and could result in serious injury. When finished, absolutely make sure the bandsaw is powered off and watch the blade come to a complete stop before you walk away or grab your materials. So once again, when finished, absolutely make sure the bandsaw is powered off and watch the blade come to a complete stop before taking your materials and walking away. When finished, make sure you use a broom or potentially a shop vac to clean up your mess.